Hello guys, today I will be talking to you about Tom Baker. Yes, I talking about John Pertwee. John Pertwee. So Tom Baker is more the classic Doctor that we should all know. He's more like the person you see as the Doctor. You know, you see him as the Doctor. Tom Baker is the Doctor. Um, he fought loads of monsters, loads, but um, the most iconic monster who started in his era, which I think most people will agree with me, is probably Davros. Davros is the most iconic monster in his era. That is because it is because Genesis of the Dark is his first story. But I like to say this before I talk more about Davros. I do not like the way they betrayed Davros in the new series. I mean, the way how he was in Remembrance of the Daleks was the Emperor, and now they're treating him as a slave. You have a control, you have a huge Dalek crucible, and the Daleks are treating you as a slave, but you gave them your own skin. They are parts of you, basically, and they're treating you as a slave, and you have a control panel anyways, and you have a control panel to sap your own arm, which is a bit stupid, you know, to make you not, fire electric bolts. I think that was the most stupid. I've not actually watched that story thinking about it. I have to say, now I've considered all the things which I've watched now the Davros stories so many times now. Considering those things, I'm actually beginning to not like that story. I mean, I used to love that story when I didn't think about things. I used to love it, and now because I'm thinking about all those things about Davros having an electric arm, all right, that's fine. I mean, Davros could shoot out. He could shoot out with his normal hand. If you remember in I don't know what the Sixth Doctor story was. The Genesis, the Destiny of the Daleks, the Remembrance. Those are the only three I'm good at naming. The other two I can't really name. No, the other one was the Resurrection. The Resurrection of the Daleks. And the other one was Rejuvenation of the Daleks. Something like that. The sixth one I'm really bad at naming. Really bad. And the fifth Doctor one, which is actually not one, it's two. The five Doctors in that one. Anyways, we're not on the five Doctors. Like Tom Baker was in the five Doctors. The special he was on to he is the longest running Doctor. He was on for 1974 to 1981, if anyone wants to know. How long is that? Is that 7 years? I'm not good at adding up. 7 years, is it? 7 years, something like that. 7 years, I say. Probably wrong. Yeah, so he's the longest running Doctor. I have to say, Tom Baker, for me, and I think many Classic Doctor Who fans, which I am a Classic Doctor Who fan, I'm not born in the classics. I was born just after Paul McGann's um, episode, so that tells you how old I am. Um, the classics. So yeah, yeah. I just want to say, Tom Baker has to be in some part of the 50th anniversary. He has to be in some part, just hearing his voice, seeing a picture of him. I don't know how you could do it. I mean, he is old now, and I mean all that. But come on, give him a try. He's an excellent actor. He's just old. It's like many people. Tom Baker, excellent actor. He's old. He never even had the costume he wanted. The Ninth Doctor had his costume. If you have heard most things he said, the Ninth Doctor costume is the costume actually he wanted, which is quite weird. The Seventh Doctor. Now, the Seventh Doctor is probably doing better now than he was doing at the Doctor Who point in time that he was Doctor Who. Because now he's in Hobbit, and he was in the movie. The last thing he was in, it was the movie, the 1996 movie. But he is doing pretty well for himself. Peter Davison, he's been in one recent one. Peter Davison could be in the 50th again, because he's been in Time Crash. I don't know why no one's. But then again, I think he did say he didn't want to be on Twitter in the 50th anniversary. I think he said that. I'm not sure about that, but I think he said on Twitter he didn't want to be in the 50th. Paul McGann, I think Paul McGann, it's a thing with Christopher Eggleston. I think he will be in the 50th anniversary. I think there'll be a regeneration. I think there will be a regeneration. I think Stephen Moffat is going to make Paul McGann regenerate into, not Christopher Eccleston, into John Hunt. And that is the Time War Doctor. There is no Christopher Eccleston in the frame, because you won't see John Hunt regenerate into Christopher Eccleston. If the rumours are true, Christopher Eccleston doesn't want no part in it neither, because of Stephen Moffat. So Stephen Moffat has just let Christopher Eccleston out. The Eighth Doctor will regenerate. So many people are they will absolutely hate it because they think Paul McGann's Doctor is in the Time War. There's many stories that he is in the Time War. I think Stephen Moffat will make him regenerate or change him somehow. Maybe this is the same Eighth Doctor. Maybe it's the Time War Doctor. It's something that Stephen Moffat is creating. Maybe he's the Fariard. Maybe in the Time War, he became the Fariard. But then again, as we all know, the Fariard don't come to his 12th regeneration. So 12th regeneration. So I don't know what really. I think what's his name, John Hunt, is actually going to be a big part of the 50th anniversary now. I'm talking about the 50th anniversary now. I'm going to be talking about the Fourth Doctor. But I think John Hunt is either an Eighth Doctor, which people say he isn't. I think he is an Eighth Doctor, but Paul McGann is going to be in the 50th anniversary because he's going to regenerate into him, because he's going to be a Faliard version. He's going to be a version, so it doesn't count, because he had to turn himself into John Hunt. So I think they don't like him much, this John Hunt character. That's why they're saying could there be more episodes of him. And I think there's going to be possibly a spin-off. Could there be a spin-off? But if there ain't a spin-off, this could be a speech for a spin-off. If he is what I think he's going to be, like either the Faliard or a Time War Doctor, could there be a Time War series? Could it just be called Time War? You know, a Who series, just a spin-off from Doctor Who. I don't know. Probably would happen, but I know I've been speaking for it a while. But yeah. So we all know Tom Baker from his scarves. Oh, and I didn't say he was in Dimensions in Time, Tom Baker, and he was in the Five Doctors. Just little clips when he was in Cambridge. I think it's so cool in there in Cambridge. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so he did regenerate because of the Master. He fell off a huge height. It's like when you trip over a brick and he would regenerate. That just reminded me when he said that, because I'm watching the new series before the old series, because that's how I watched Christopher. I brought up Christopher Eccleston and stuff. So when David Tennant said that made me think to that when he fell off. I thought, well, he fell off a huge thing, and he regenerated. Now he did regenerate. He didn't die. Many people who fall off a big television pole or whatever it was, I don't know what it's called, would probably die, splat on the floor. He regenerated. So would he regenerate if he fell over a brick? I don't think so, but that's just one thing I would like to say there. So Tom Baker falling off there by the Master, which is the most crappiest death regeneration, ever. I feel sorry that he had to regenerate from falling off a pole. It would be alright if the Master shot him or something. It's not the most iconic death. Peter Davis, that thing following him because he knew he was going to fall off a pole. He'd just regenerate anyways. In the new series, you did not see that white being, whatever it was. I don't know what that white being was. it was the Doctor. But then again, we never saw that the White Doctor being the White Being. So don't get it. Um, yeah. So the Doctor had Elizabeth Sladen, Tom Baker. I mean, he had Harry. He had K9. He had Leah. He had Ace, not Ace, Adric. Sorry. He had those two gals, whatever they're called, the Tegan, Jovanka, 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 whatever the word is, and Nisa, Romana 1 and Romana 2, of course, I must not forget them too. Yeah, I think I said the Cybermen came back because it's been such a long video. The Cybermen did come back. The Sontarans came back twice. We saw the we saw the Time Lords, of course, because of the invasion of time. That's a big, huge, time, big, huge indication that they were in it. I think they were in more than one story, because Deadly Assassin, the Master, when he was all frown crippled in that story, being Deadly Assassin, tricking the Doctor, thinking he killed the President, when he never, and the Doctor realised that. Um, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed his era. He was pretty good. He was pretty good as the Doctor. I have to say, in a poll with David Tennant and Tom Baker, well, I mean a poll of all the Doctors, Tom Baker and David Tennant come at the top. So it's kind of weird when you have people say choose. Like Facebook polls, you have to just choose one Doctor. So I choose. Well, I choose. I don't know. I don't know who I choose. But I would say if I were allowed to joint top them, I would do David Tennant and Tom Baker. Just joint top them together. Just those two, fine with me. You make me choose between other Doctors, those two come up on top. So you know my favourite Doctors are now. Christopher Eccleston, though, strangely, was the Doctor I was, brought up with. But I do like Tom and not Chris, and David Tennant more. So thank you guys for watching. Sorry this was a huge rant video, and goodbye for now.